With pick 1 of the 2021 NAB AFL Draft, North Melbourne Football Club have selected Jason Horne-Francis.
Number 1 pick is pretty special.
Yeah, for sure. It's really special.
The AFL Draft Combine. Every year, footy prospects from across the country are put through one last test before selection night. This process is split into a number of examinations, including fitness, physical, psychomotor, psychological, and medical. Programs and examinations have been subject to change over the years, but today we're going to be focusing on one area in particular: fitness. These are the tests that tend to get the most attention, as it allows the footy community's imagination to run wild at what these athletes could become. And soon we'll be able to imagine what I'd look like on the footy field when I'm not just making delicious trick shots. So the program is as follows: standing vertical jump, 20-metre sprint, agility test, and the 2K time trial. To make things clear, I have done no specific training in preparation for this. I do, however, go to the gym 5 times per week with a core focus on weight training. Which leaves us with the questions: how good am I? How good could I be? And how do I compare against these star-studded AFL prospects? Let's find out.
Look at the twist, he got down, he got up again!
Welcome to Bridgestone Reserve. Well, the back of it, that is. Behind us is a brand new athletic stadium, but first we're at the back because we're doing the vertical jump test. Now, we don't have the traditional Vertec machine that you normally see them use, but we do have a wall, some chalk, and a tape measure. Here we go. The standing vertical jump. One of the more enjoyable tests to complete, and will give us an immediate indication of whether or not mark of the year is on the cards. Max Gorn, look out. So for each jump, I mix both water and chalk onto the end of my middle finger for us to clearly see where the touch point lands. From here, we could easily mark and measure each jump and get the most accurate result possible. With the first attempt reaching 63 centimetres, followed by 65 on the second attempt. I was pleasantly surprised by these results, as last year's Combine top 10 were only 5 to 11 centimetres higher. Although Aidan Bonner certainly gave me a reality check when I realised he holds the AFL record at 89 centimetres. I did manage to make a slight improvement on the last attempt, finishing with a jump of 66. And on to the 20 metre sprint. Now, interval times are normally taken at 5, 10 and 20 metres, however we've only done 10 and 20. Does this matter? Not really. First attempt clocking at 3.5 seconds, which for reference, since this is normally done with sensors, I ever so slightly delay the start time as if my chest is passing through that first gate. My second attempt marginally slower at 3.57 and brings us to the Combine record set by Joel Wilkinson at 2.75. So some brutal rundown tackles coming my way. Also, the draft allows players at least a 2-minute rest period between attempts, with 3 attempts total, as my final time comes in at 3.47 seconds. The beloved agility test. Straight away, yes, only 4 agility poles. Unfortunately, they didn't come in a pack of 5, and I wasn't buying another set just for 1. But at least we got the layout correct according to this diagram from topendsports.com. I'll leave some links in the description of all the sources I used throughout this video. In the meantime, the first attempt there at 9.2 seconds, again, a 2 to 3 minute recovery period between attempts. The second run with a slight improvement at 8.9 seconds, but still miles off our Combine record of 7.7 seconds by Darcy Jones in the 2022 Draft Combine. And then we have last year's top 10. On to the third attempt, and you begin to realise that this is just as much about learning the running path as it is about speed. It was easy to take turns too wide, costing you the entire run. For the time of 8.8 seconds. And we make it to the infamous 2K time trial. No messing about, here we go. Coming into this, I honestly had no idea where my fitness was at. I had done a few 2Ks when I was younger through footy, where I would normally be around the 7-minute mark. So I was thinking 8 minutes had some potential. I knew my 400 metre split times needed to be at 136, so clocking in at 137 for lap 1 was a good start. Although this is where I felt it. Moving into a headwind on the back straight, and I was almost ready to put the cue in the rack. I did manage to move through at 144 for lap 2, but I realised the next few laps were going to be a struggle.
So a more interesting fact is that the AFL Combine record is held by Harry Sharp at 5:28 from the 2020 testings. And as some of you may already know, players used to complete a 3K time trial prior to 2017, where Joshua Schoenfeld holds the record at 9:15. As we come back, third lap slow, fourth lap even slower, and was about 35 seconds behind the target pace. But I knew I had to dig deep, to make sure I left absolutely nothing in the tank, to really set the benchmark for this year's draft hopefuls. As I crossed the line at 8:39.2. A strong final lap, and honestly not too bad overall. As we take a look through my final results, if you'd like to see me come back again and specifically train for these tests, please leave a like down below, subscribe, and until next time, see you later.